Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. Todd Chrisley slams jurors who sent him and Julie to prison. Todd Chrisley has said the reason he and his wife, Julie Chrisley, were convicted of bank and tax fraud was because there weren't any multimillionaires on the jury. The reality TV couple and their daughter, Savannah Chrisley, recently sat down with Juju Chang for an ABC News Studios special, which aired on Sunday, June 29, on Hulu and Disney, Plus and again on Monday, June 30, on Good Morning America. During the interview, Chang brought up how Todd and Julie were convicted by a jury of your peers, and many feel like they didn't serve their time. In 2022, Todd and Julie were convicted of defrauding banks of at least $30 million and sentenced to a combined 19 years in federal prison. Todd was sentenced to 12 years at FPC Pensacola, while Julie was given a 7-year sentence at FMC Lexington. They were released from prison on Wednesday, May 28, after being pardoned by President Donald Trump. Todd rejected the idea that a jury of their peers had convicted them. Convicted by a jury of our peers. Were we? He responded to Chang's question. I didn't see multimillionaires in that jury box. I didn't see people that were in the film industry in that jury box. He continued, I saw people on the jury in a heavily Democratic county, and a judge allowed them to paint us as this white family who has white entitlement and who has money to burn. Todd's claims echo statements made by Savannah over the past 2 years, in which she alleged her parents were unfairly treated due to their support of Trump. However, according to court records obtained by Variety, as well as statements from jurors and others present at the trial, neither Trump nor politics ever came up in the trial or the appeals. Politics never came up. Trump never came up, juror Glenda Hinton told the outlet. It was strictly a fraud case. There was no politics. In addition, the Chrisleys were arrested during Trump's first term as president back in 2019. In fact, in 2016, Todd said he was not impressed with Hillary Clinton or Donald Trump, and Savannah noted on a recent episode of her Unlocked podcast that she was not involved in politics really at all until 2 years ago. Todd's comments about the jury sparked a strong reaction on social media, with many criticizing him for refusing to take accountability. Not taking responsibility, commented one Instagram user. Didn't his lawyer pick the jury along with prosecutor? Said another. Icky seems like he is above everyone. Not humble at all. No empathy. This taught him nothing, another added. Another wrote, wow, I am shocked by the lack of humbleness. They are guilty of tax evasion and refuse to take responsibility, instead blaming someone else, said one commenter. However, one fan backed Todd up, saying, regardless of how we feel towards this, he is not wrong. His peers would have been those within his age or social group and profession. If they weren't present, he has a point. Now Democrats have nothing to do with this, Todd Chrisley. A jury of one's peers means fellow citizens, another user responded to the above comment. What do Democrats have to do with anything, another added. What do you think of Todd's comments? Let us know your thoughts in the comments section below. Todd Chrisley has never been one to bite his tongue. From his rise to reality television fame on Chrisley Knows Best to his fiery podcasts, and now his outspoken prison reflections, Todd has always lived his life with a sharp tongue and a sharp suit. But now the once polished patriarch has turned his attention to a group of people he feels betrayed him the most. The jurors who convicted him and his wife Julie, sending them both behind bars for years. From the moment Todd first set foot in the federal prison system, insiders say he has been simmering with resentment over how the trial was handled. In his latest words, delivered through family and statements shared on the outside, Todd isn't holding back. According to him, the jury wasn't impartial. He claims they didn't see him and Julie for who they really were: parents, partners, people. Instead, they saw caricatures of wealth, fame, and Southern charm that prosecutors painted with broad strokes. They judged the TV Todd, not the real Todd. A close source says he told family. They let the headlines, the government, and the sensationalism win. I was convicted by perception, not proof. For Todd, the sting lies in the belief that jurors fell for what he describes as a carefully crafted story. He insists prosecutors missold them with exaggerated numbers, shady witnesses, and character assassinations. And in his eyes, the jury ate it up. They were supposed to question everything. They were supposed to weigh facts, not feelings. Todd reportedly told his daughter Savannah during a recent call. But they walked into that courtroom already convinced we were guilty because we were Chrisleys. Savannah, who has become her parents' fiercest advocate, echoed that frustration publicly. She has hinted multiple times that her parents didn't stand a chance once the jury sat down. According to her, it wasn't just about evidence. It was about image. Todd's fury has only grown as the months pass. He calls out what he perceives as hypocrisy. Jurors who claimed impartiality but couldn't separate reality TV antics from courtroom reality. He doesn't mince words, slamming them as eager to make an example out of his family. Behind the sharp words, however, there's also hurt. Todd feels abandoned by a system he once trusted. In his mind, these 12 men and women were supposed to safeguard justice. Instead, he sees them as people who rubber-stamped the prosecution's narrative. His biggest point of anger: he believes jurors ignored inconsistencies in the testimony of the prosecution's key witnesses. How could they listen to someone who admitted lying, cheating, and stealing, and then take their word as gospel? Todd fumed in a recorded phone call shared by Savannah on her podcast. The jury wanted a villain, and they decided it was me. In Todd's telling, the trial was never truly about tax fraud or financial mismanagement. He argues it was a morality play. Flashy reality stars brought down in the name of justice. And the jurors, he believes, relished their part in writing that ending. They'll go home and say, "We brought down the Chrisleys," Todd told a prison confidant. But what they really did was help a corrupt system keep turning. Whether or not the jury did anything wrong legally, Todd is determined to keep his narrative alive. His legal team has already filed appeals, raising questions about how the trial was handled. But Todd goes further. He calls the verdict not just unjust, but un-American. Jurors are supposed to protect citizens from overreach, he reportedly said, not become puppets for prosecutors who want to put a trophy on their shelf. It's clear that for Todd, this fight isn't just about prison time. It's about legacy. He refuses to let his story be written by 12 strangers who, in his mind, never truly understood him. He wants the world to know he is more than their verdict. Supporters of the Chrisleys have rallied around this sentiment. Many fans online echo Todd's view that fame worked against him. They argue that the jury couldn't help but see dollar signs in drama instead of flesh and blood people. Yet critics push back, reminding everyone that jurors are bound by strict instructions, and courts protect their identities for a reason. They argue that Todd's anger, however dramatic, won't change the fact that a jury of peers found him guilty after weeks of testimony. But Todd doesn't seem to care about critics. His focus remains sharp, his words biting. He insists jurors failed him and Julie, and he won't forgive it. They had a choice, he says. They could have stood on truth. They chose convenience.